What's up, Facebook, internet world? It's your boy, Unger Car certified high performance coach here with another late night live. We don't normally go late night live on Friday, but this has been an amazing week, and I want to be able to share all these awesome experts' stories. Remember, we've been talking about the Limitless Challenge. First of all, drop hashtag team crushing it for me in my comments for me. Those of you with the team crushing it with that. And if you're catching me on the replay, drop hashtag replay. As I've been doing all this week, I'm over here checking my phone just to make sure that we are live. Don't want to be talking to the middle of nowhere as far as that, doing that as well. But I am so excited. This has been a great week with our finalists of the Limitless Challenge. What we asked for people to do was to teach something. Could you teach a concept? Could you go out and teach something and be able to share? And we had tons and tons of great entries, but these 5 people rose to the top of it. And so now they're really battling it out for an amazing prize package, which we'll talk about here in a moment. But I am here in the man cave, but I am also here live with Waltraud Unger. And first of all, let me tell you, I got a chance to meet Waltraud through our connections through Brendan Burchard and at the High Performance Academy. And I met her at an event like about a year and a half ago now. So it's been back in like, what was it, April or March or April? Yeah, exactly. Of 2019, way back when the war was open back then, and everything else. We could have live events. But I want to introduce you guys to Waltraud. She did such an amazing job. You can click on her link and vote for her video. The link is in the caption for this, but it's also I'll put it into the comments as well too. But Waltraud, tell us about yourself. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me. This is such an honor to be here with you, to connect after a year and a half of just connecting a little bit here and there on social media. And yeah, the challenge has been amazing. And just to show some of the things that we are passionate, all those leaders that have risen to the top, has just been an amazing opportunity. So yeah, what to share about myself? I think one of the biggest traits that I'm realizing as I've been coaching now for over a decade is in a former life, I was a research scientist in applied physics, and this drive to understand, finding answers to the why does it work that way? And so that has been really a guideline in what I do. But to ultimately come to the point where I am to teach on taking care of yourself, avoiding burnout, surviving, came from that time way back when I was studying physics. I was one amongst 300 men. Then I entered a man's world. I'm very competitive, very driven. And when you are in this world of primarily male colleagues, the only way to survive is to do more. And to top that off, it was an entrepreneurial endeavor. So I was in technology commercialization. So it was a very, very driven world. And through my years of navigating and rising and being identified as a high potential, I saw the positive, but also the shadow side of what it happened, what it did to me, and what it also did to my male colleagues. And then fast forward with some health challenges, I finally stepped back and said, no, there's a greater purpose to my life than contributing to somebody's bottom line. And I needed to put my life back together, my health back together. And when I started coaching, those were the clients that came, the leaders, the entrepreneurs, the driven ones that really forgot to take care of themselves. And that's what I'm passionate about. And that's what I teach and support and hope to inspire, that we first need to take care of ourselves before we can go out and change the world, so to speak.
Right. Wow. Something you said there. There's more to contribute in life than just to somebody else's bottom line. That is amazing. And just, I know that you talked about burnout in your talk and what you were teaching about as far as with it. It's really more about how do we take back our personal power in a lot of ways. It really is, as far as how it is that we recognize the power that's there. And so being from the the engineering, and then like you said, being in a situation in such a male dominated world, that had to be so interesting as far as to how do you walk to that place to you were there, how did you go from that place to the coaching? How did that really what really made that process happen for you?
Well, it happened actually when I was on maternity leave. So I was traveling already 50% of the time. My husband did at least the same. And on maternity leave, I was just home with my second child. So I had a 2-year-old and an infant. I got promoted to cover not just Europe and South America. They gave me Asia as well, which would have meant at least 75, 80% on the road. And I just said, I didn't give birth to two beautiful children to have somebody else take care of it and run myself ragged. So I left. I had no other plan. I just knew this was not my environment. But I knew I wanted to have my own business. And at that time, I thought, well, maybe I'll go back and study IP law because I did a lot with licensing and patents. I wanted to be in high tech. But then this one day I was talking to a trusted friend. I said, I don't know what to do. You have been to law school. Should I do it? What should I do? And she said, why don't you teach on health? We come to you already for advice. Why not do that? And I said, well, why would I do that? That's a hobby. I enjoy that. And she said, exactly. So after a lot of mulling it back and forth, I decided, okay, it's time to go back to school. I studied nutrition, I studied coaching, but then the light bulb went on. And it was because when I was growing up, we did farm to table before we even had a word for farm to table. So I was foraging with my dad, with my grandmother. We had a vegetable garden, we had fruit trees. We knew where our meat was coming from. We knew the cow that gave us the milk. That's how I grew up, very much connected to the earth, to the food, to the season. And then I came to the United States. I grew up in Germany. But when I came here, it was bagels, bottled salad dressing, fast food. And it was like, wow. And it kind of disconnected me from who I was. And when I needed to go back on my own journey of healing, I reconnected with how I grew up and actually saw that's what I learned in coaching school, in nutrition school, going back to the roots, to the basics of who we are, how we nurture ourselves, what we actually put in our body and how it becomes us. That was a real pivotal moment where I said, I've been training for this all my life. And it was right in front of my nose, but I couldn't see it until my friend said, that's what you need to do.
It's so interesting how that will kind of come to you. It comes to you. And then, I mean, I never would have imagined, 15 years ago that I'd be where I am now or anything like that. And so that is really amazing how it happens. So when you realize who it is that you really are, who are you?
A giver. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I care passionately about others. I think my superpower is to see what they don't say. I can feel them. I can feel the connection with the individual. I can feel the suffering that often happens very silently, especially my male clients. And I think my training in the entrepreneurial world allowed me to take things from another world in another environment and put them together. So this thinking outside the box. And it's such a cliche to say that, but to look at a situation from a different angle and just help them not just navigate their health and their life, but because I've done business development, a lot of, especially my entrepreneurs, their business is who they are. And at some point, sooner or later, we talk business, and I can help them look at where they are from a different perspective, because I am not there. I'm not in the grind with them. I kind of can step back and put my past hat on and say, okay, how about this? How about that? Where are you with this? Does this align with you? Where do you want to go? what's the fear that's holding you back, and then bringing in that whole support of, the food, which is what I spoke about in the video, but that's just one pillar. It's how we talk to ourselves, how we allow ourselves to rest. The exercise is something that we always stress, but it's only a part. There are different pillars that come together for a foundation of a balance, of this pushing and being. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, because really that's something that it really resonated with me, with you talking about the difference between pushing and being. That's a huge thing. So many of us, we are, so I see this a lot, especially in hyper successful people. They feel defined by whatever it is they do.
Yes.
That's what it is. So that's the pushing or doing that you're doing instead of who it is that you are. It's a silly movie, but it's one of my favorite parts of a movie. It's from this movie called You, Me, and Dupree, and it's Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. And so Owen Wilson's like a slacker, and he is living with Vince Vaughn and his wife. Because they were childhood friends, and so he talks about what your ness is and so it's that's your Waltraud ness or my Unger ness, and that's just who it is that you are. And so the thing is that you were so blessed to be able to find the coaching because it really fits with who it is that you are. Yeah. I could even see you in your past life, from getting a chance to have experienced you and getting to see you. I could even see you as who you were in that past life because of this. You're such operating in who it is that you are. How long have you been coaching now?
Officially, I started 10 years ago in August.
Wow. Okay.
And God only knows how long unofficially.
Right. Yeah. Unofficially, it was your whole life.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't been keeping track.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But it's so interesting what you said before too, though, because one of my homeworks, I call them homeworks, is asking my clients to define themselves without naming achievements, titles, or possessions. Who are they? And it's really interesting to see how many people have a really hard time defining themselves as not this or that.
Yeah, it's because the world defines us as that already. Yes. So they define it and do it. My mom was a super famous teacher in my hometown, and so I spent the first 14 or 15 years of my life being Miss Carr's son, basically, and Miss Carr's son. And then I started achieving stuff in sports and those things. And so then she became Ojinga's mom. That's the way it works. And so many different things go on in that way. Yeah. It's just so interesting about that. It really is how it is that we find ourselves completely, and it's where we get lost at, honestly, because you find yourself defined. It took me not making it in the NFL, getting injured in college. It took me 10 years literally of my life to kind of find my way through that darkness from that of not making it and not doing it and figuring out how do you define yourself and not spending so much time in the rearview mirror with that. So that's a huge thing. It really is. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I see how that's a problem. Okay, so tell the people about how is it that you work with people? What do you do as far as with coaching? Who is it that's your client that you work with that you like to work with the most?
What really lights me up are the geeky, nerdy entrepreneurs. And what I mean by that is the guys that are in IT, that at the same time the yoga teacher, that are different from your typical stereotypical male, that have both that female side, but also that driven male side, that analytical, but also the heart. And to help them not only take better care of themselves, but to value their uniqueness and bring that into their whole being. I think some of my most fond moments are when somebody tells me that they have finally allowed their musical talents to enter into their presentations and then stand out, because now it's the guy that also plays the jingle at the end of his presentation and makes a name for himself because he's showing up as who he fully is. So those are, my favorite clients. But in general, I just love working with entrepreneurs, with leaders, with people that know that something is missing. They have tried to find it and make changes, but until they get the support to create that foundation of valuing themselves, that's when the puzzle, the pieces fall into place. That's when they can stick to a lifestyle change, to a diet change, to an exercise routine, to allowing themselves to go away for a couple of days without feeling guilty, without answering the phone.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing. So let's talk about really quickly what it is that you are doing here in this contest. Okay, so we created the Limitless Challenge contest, and what we want to do is to be able to have people who can teach concepts. And so we found tons of people, but we were able to narrow it down to 5 finalists who really just teach what it is, and they do a great job of doing that. And so now we're in the finalist portion. And so from now through Tuesday night at midnight, you can vote for Waltraud's video. You can go and find that on my page at I Dream I Achieve with Ojinga Carr, or I put a link here. The link is at the top of this, and we'll put it back into here as well too. So you vote by sharing, liking, or commenting on her video. So that's more impressions. And so we've really gone viral with this contest. Again, all these pings that now are coming to my page of people who are sharing and liking. The experts do an excellent job of also going back and really talking back and forth with the people who are commenting on there. So like, you got people who are learning stuff, which is so huge. But the winner of this contest is going to win $1,000 in cash, plus my $10,000 high performance framework program, which is my creative course program. So this is not a program where I'm just going to like give them and say, oh, go create something. Okay. When we're talking about high performance frameworks, it's about how do we make sure that we're putting together something. We like to put together tools that transcend time. That's it. To be able to transcend time, something that can still be fresh 5 years from now. Because if you can do something that can be fresh 5 years from now you've created a legacy project. Think about Dr. Stephen Covey with 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Book was written 30 years ago, and it's still in the New York Times bestseller list. People still reference it and still use it. That's creating something that transcends time. So in that program, what we do is that we would build out a course with Waltraud if she were to win. And what we do is we make sure that we put together a great course. And then we do all of it's a video course. We do all the video editing. We do the branding on it, and then also create a marketing plan for it and hand it over to her for her to be able to go and help the world and go be able to help more people. Because you're doing a lot of one-to-one and group. Maybe are you doing some group coaching as well too?
Yes, I have in the past. I took a little bit of a break, but this challenge came at the perfect time because I am in the process of scripting out a course, and then with that will come some group coaching, because I truly believe you have to have that individual touch, because everybody is different as their fingerprint.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's amazing that you're offering
that's
that.
awesome. I'm glad it is for you, because like when we look at it, when I look at in my coaching business, yes, I have my one-to-one clients that we work with, but then we have a group coaching program as well too. And then we have a myriad of courses that are here that say, okay, if you want to learn about how to be able to live a limitless life, or if you want to learn about HR, or if you want to learn about the different things, you can take those and be able to do those in a DIY situation. We call it the Property Brothers method is what it is, right? You can watch the Property Brothers. See, I'm married, so, you know, I see tons of HGTV. So, especially in the pandemic, I saw a ton because there was no sports. So the Property Brothers, you can watch them on TV, and you might be able to glean a way of being able to do the work. And so you can do that, or you can get a course or a book by the Property Brothers with a step-by-step with that, or you can just hire the Property Brothers. All those are different levels of ways of being able to engage And so I love for coaches and for any business owner to be able to have multiple ways of being able to engage and be able to do that. So you will win that. And then also, I've got my event coming up next weekend, October 23rd and 24th. The winner of this contest is going to get a showcase on my event as well too. So I'm just excited about it. I'm excited about new voices and being able to spread what it is that you guys are doing. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you for all that you've done and you continue to do. And regardless of what's happening, because there are some really amazing finalists here, I'll be there and watch and learn and just support where I can. It's amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you guys get out there and support Waltraud and what she's doing with that. I just learned that we're a couple of warriors here. She told me what her name means. She said warrior in the woods, right?
Warrior of the forest.
Warrior of the forest. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get that right. Warrior of the forest. And my middle name actually means warrior as well, too. So there's a couple of warriors here talking about how to be able to get things done in our business and in our life. Waltraud has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with the people and doing that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And like I said, we'll if you catch this on the replay or whatever, you'll see the link in there. Click on it, watch the video, and share. Just definitely share, like, comment, and do that. All right. So for Waltraud Unger, thank you so much. Thank you tonight. My name is Ojinga Carr, and I dream, I achieve. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you later on.